This article is about the Korean work ethic. Like the Japanese work ethic of the 60s, let's say, 60s and maybe 70s, the workaholic Japanese and the workaholic Koreans, very famous for their hard work, and this, of course, produced the rags to riches economic miracle, that label that was attached especially to Korea. A lot of hard work, industriousness, and all that. This was connected also with loyalties. That is, as in Japan, people, men mainly, worked for one company all their life, and that company and the co-workers became kind of like family, extended family. The Japanese are still famous for this, and I think the Japanese still do it, and apparently do it well. But this is no longer the case in IMF, post-IMF Korea. After all, the IMF examined the Korean way of doing things and found a lot of problems. Inefficiency, waste. The one word is inefficiency. And the IMF insisted that changes be made. Were they right? Of course they were right. Of course they were right. Sorry, I mean, most Koreans, I think, agree that IMF's analysis was correct in many ways. Some Koreans, I'm sure, want to believe that the bad guy here is IMF, and IMF is simply an appendage of the USA, but that's unrealistic. Korea's economy had problems, and the solutions to the problems were the ones proposed by IMF, in my opinion, and I'm not an expert at all, but it seems to make sense. Anyway, so the work week was cut to 5 days to save money. People were laid off to save money. Staffs were reduced to save money, and the smaller number of people have to get the job done that formerly had been done by a more leisurely, larger group. Anyway, all of this very interesting. In the light of today's relative crisis, I assume that we're still trying to catch up to, still really trying to realize to conform to IMF's analysis of things. And this demands efficiency. And this demands enlightened business practices, honesty, not corruption, and this involves big changes, and those changes are still occurring. Some companies seem to operate as well as any companies in the world. Samsung, LG, Hyundai. These are the shining lights, and of course they all have adopted, I have heard and I assume, Western marketing, Western business practices, Western standards, and all that. Efficiency is the big word. No waste. And I think other companies are going to have to do that too, and I think they are probably trying to do that. But that's what is happening, I think. Anyway, very interesting.